In this lesson on chord names and symbols, I'm going to show you how to read chords. So here's some common-ish chords that you might run into when playing worship music. And if you don't know what these mean, I want to show you, because hidden inside every chord name, there's really two pieces of information, and only two. And the way you can kind of figure this out is this. I'm going to separate these by a left side and a right side. So for example, one piece of information it tells you is it's a location info piece. So here on this side, left side, tells you the location. So that means this chord is going to be built upon a C note. All the notes that are going to be added to this chord is built off the C. And a commonly used term for that is what's called the root. Root. So everything on the left side is the root, left. And then what's on the right side, the info that's on the right side of the chord symbol, is what's called the type of chord. And basically what type means is the notes that you add to the root note. So this little M stands for minor. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about what notes a minor consists of. That will be, you can find that in Wikipedia. If you look up chord names and symbols, it'll tell you all the different types of chords and what notes that you add. But for this example, I'll just kind of tell you a minor means you add a flat 3 and a 5 to whatever the root note is. And so you find a C, you figure out what the flat 3 and what the 5 is, which is basically created using the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can use that to figure out the flats, and you add to the C and you have your chord. Okay, so let's go to the next one here. With that same piece of information, it's that simple. Whatever's on the left-hand side is the root, so the root is going to be an E. That's the note that all the other notes will be added to. And the type of chord this is on the right hand side here, it's a seventh. And this is a symbol for the dominant seventh, which will require you to add the intervals 3, 5, and flatted seventh to it. Once again, you can find those online somewhere. This is just a lesson on how to read these chords. And it's that simple. Let's go to the next one. All right. So here, what do you think the root will be? If you said B, you're correct. B is the root. The type of chord, suspended chord. Suspended. And that's another, it's a code name for the type of notes that you add to the root. Okay, these are going to get a little trickier, but I'm going to show you. So next one here, A major 7. The big M stands for major. That's a 7. Left piece, root, A. The type of chord, major 7. Major 7th. And that would be, 3, 5, 7 you would add to the root. Okay, now here's a tricky one. This one's where it gets a little complex, but I'm going to make this super easy. So when you come to a chord like this that has either a flat or a sharp symbol, okay? Let me write this. Flat and sharps. Whenever you come to that, that is not in the category of the type, but that is more information about the location. So D flat is a location of a note. It is not describing the type of chord. So D flat is the root. And off of the D flat note, you're going to build this type of chord, which here is what's called a minor 9. Real pretty chord, but once again, you can figure out and go get the type of chords and what the types represent as far as what notes to add, and you'll be able to figure that out. Just you start on the D flat, you add that. Okay, this last one here, this one seems really simple, but it also has 2 pieces of information. So it's a regular G chord. The location information over here, I'm going to write this location. Okay, well, obviously there's only G, so the root and the location is G. But it also, even though there's nothing written, has a piece of information over here. And the code for what's on the right-hand side is nothing. And the reason why there's nothing there is because when there's nothing there, it represents what's called a major chord. And it is the most common chord, and so it's so common it's just defaulted. You don't even have to write anything, and it's going to tell you that it's a major chord. So that is how you read chord names and chord symbols. And so no matter how complex a chord might be, I'm going to write one other one right here just for fun. It would be the same thing. Let's say it's let's see, E flat 7 flat 9 chord, which exists. Once again, there's 2 pieces of information. The location or the root here is what? E flat. That's the note everything's going to be built off of. The type of chord is this. It's a 7 flat 9 type of chord, which is a common chord in jazz.